Hey, Coach, can you just talk about the offensive flow on Saturday and what you saw there and how well those guys were working together in that game?
No, it was very inspiring to watch. Just the pace of the game, the pace of our offense. Oh gosh, I lost you guys. Sorry.
No, we still got you.
All the updates. You know how to give update Monday on your laptop. My apologies for that. I don't have time for updates right at this moment. But getting back to your question, Chris. Yeah, the pace of our offense I thought was very inspiring to watch. It was great to see that, what we practice to have a great carryover, and then also to continue to see the growth and what's happening game by game. The guys really got out and really was dialed in to what makes us special.
And then if I could follow up, Coach, just how good was it to see Hunter from the top of the key and how much does that open the floor when he's hitting those threes like that?
Well, Hunter made some really good shots, and he's been working on it. He worked on it in the off season. Speaking of off season, I'm talking about the summertime. He's also worked on it, with me during the season. And the key, like I always told Hunter, is just to stay in it. No need to fade back, no need to walk back when you shoot it. And he's been working on just dialing into that muscle memory. And he got open looks, and he took what the defense gave him. And it's nothing like when the ball goes in the basket. It's a great feeling, not only within the player, but also it breathes life within the team, and it brings life into the building. And the building I'm speaking of is Chrysler.
Next up, Coach, is James Hawkins from the Detroit News.
Hey, Juwan, you mentioned you guys playing with pace. I know last week when we spoke with Coach Martell, he talked about how the offense hasn't been playing with the type of pace that you guys would like. So I guess just how much has been playing with better pace been a talking point or focal point with you guys in practice?
Well, we've been working on it in practice since back in some of our summer workouts in July, and then when we started our official practice in September 29th, and it takes time to develop, a lot of our read and react type of situations that we look for within the pace of our transition, as well as in just overall in our offense half court sets. And so I don't expect for our guys to pick it up right away, especially, when you talk about guys that come from different systems, and whether it's from a different program on a collegiate level or, from a high school level, it takes time to develop it. And with that, we all want instant results right away. But as we keep building it, growing, I've always said that we will always get better and better game by game and day by day in practice.
Right. And you mentioned that Saturday's one was maybe a step in the right direction of playing with that. Is that the type of pace you guys want to play with, like you guys did on Saturday?
We're going to continue to keep thriving on what we feel that helps best give us the best chance to win.
Next question is from Brendan Quinn from The Athletic.
Hey, Juwan. You mentioned on Saturday that Caleb, a lot is being asked of Caleb in his role. And I wonder if you could kind of expand on that to him specifically, of just things that maybe have taken him, a little bit out of his comfort zone or anything, like things that you're kind of asking him to do that's kind of going along in this first month of playing college basketball.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot that's been asked of, all the guys, and, particularly like you just asked, you're asking about Caleb, and his role is, not just, some consider him, a shooter. That's not exactly what makes a complete player. And that's what we developing, Caleb to be the best version of himself, but then also at the same time to develop, the all-around game as far as playing elite level basketball on the offensive end. And offensive end, entails, at times you're going to be used in ball screens. At times you're going to be used in dribble handoffs, catch and shoot. There are sets going to be run from him, catch and shoot. There are times in transition where he has to be able to read the defense on when to make a play for himself or for one of his teammates. And then on a defensive end, I know a lot of this is not stressed on the high school level. And then no offense to AAU basketball, but I know it's not stressed in AAU basketball because I've been a part of it. I've had, kids that have played on that level. Defense is, some of the defensive habits that translate into, developing, winning for the team. And those habits are guarding. And at times he's going to be asked to guard possibly 1 through 5. And there are times when he's going to be asked to, be able to get over on a ball screen or get under and, be able to, get into a guy's chest and push him to a certain direction when the ball screen is coming, and being a help defense and boxing out. And then last but not least, pursuing those rebounds. And those rebounds I'm talking about is the physicality ones that are in traffic. And that develops, a certain type of mindset and a certain type of level of physicality and toughness that not just Caleb, but, a young guy who's coming out of high school got to embrace if he wants to stay out there on the floor to help his team win.
You mentioned defense there. You guys have played some pressure since you've been here, but this game, it seemed like there was maybe a little bit more emphasis on it than I can recall seeing, at least. And I wonder if you think that that's something that could become kind of part of this team's defensive identity, is that, going maybe doing a little bit more full court or 3/4 court, whatever.
Well, I'm never going to tell you guys the game plan, because, I just know that there are a lot of other coaches like myself that I enjoy sitting back and listening to some of the other coaches, press conferences or reading some of the clippings. And, I'm never going to just sit here and just tell you guys, I know what you ask for, is a lot, and you do got to do your job. But I'm going to be as protective as I can as much as possible. And so it goes, defensively, we always want to be a team that is going to get into our opponent and make them work hard for every bucket that they try to get.
Gotcha. Thanks, Juwan.
Yep.
Next up is Michael Cohen from the Detroit Free Press.
Hey, Juwan, how is Musa feeling, and has that bug bothered anybody else on the team heading into this road trip?
And, it's illness, sickness, that's a lot of those things you can't control. And, we've been dealing with a lot, just all of us, I'm speaking of, like this entire world, what we've faced these last couple of years. And I just pray that he gets healthy. And I'm not concerned about how fast he gets back on the floor to play. I know he's concerned because he's such a fierce competitor. But I just want, Musa, just health-wise, that he can, whenever he's able to return, he's returning 110% healthy. There's no rush to get him back. But I will say this, we truly miss him. And obviously we need him.
Thank you.
Next question is from Andrewkhan from MLive.
Hey, Juwan, just a general question about changing the starting lineup. Like you've done it in the past, even already this season. I guess in your long experience as a player and a coach, what is the key to making sure the guy who's getting replaced, doesn't see it as a demotion?
When you all in, and I was speaking of all in, not just 2 feet, but 4 feet in, and I'll let you define what 4 feet mean. That speaking of, when you're locked in and helping your team win, and doing whatever it takes for your role is at times you're going to have to sacrifice, and that's what our guys have bought into. And when the next man up, the guy who's been replaced for, whether it's in the starting lineup or when a guy's come in to sub a guy out the game, and it's important that you continue to breathe life into your teammate when he's out there on the floor, because with the basketball gods, and I know Terry Mills can attest to this, if you're not in the right mindset, if you're concerned and worrying about yourself and worrying about your minutes, and you're in a wrong negative headspace, it's going to affect your play. And I know you're speaking of, with our starting rotation, the guy that was moved out of the starting lineup and the guy that was replaced, Brandon has been special on all levels. And what he's done has been remarkable in how he's accepted his role and knowing that we need him and we're going to lean on him.
Thanks.
Next question is from Chris Ballas from the Wolverine.
Coach, what have you seen from Nebraska, and what can you tell us about their program that catches your eye?
Their shooting and their ability to be able to make shots, whether it's off the dribble, pin down screens, or dribble handoffs, and that's pretty elite level. So I expect a team that playing at home that's going to come out with a lot of energy and effort, and I just pray that the basketball gods help us and some of those shots that they're going to be taking, that it doesn't go in the basket.
We'll go back to Michael from the Free Press.
Hey, Juwan, some of the players and Coach Martelli have praised your ability to remain calm in huddles, especially when, a team might make a little run or something might go against you, that you always remain calm and encourage people to stay within themselves and breathe and those types of things. And I'm wondering, was that a mentality that you even had back in your playing days, or was that something that you developed with perspective over time?
I think Coach Dutcher, Coach Fisher, Coach Jay Smith, and Perry Watson and Scott Perry can answer that question better than I can. I don't like to talk too much about myself, but I've always, never been the one to get rattled, and I always believe in just staying the course. And it's so many emotions that happens in a game that, with the leadership has to be at a good headspace and to be the best version of himself during times when it's going good, and also when it's not going your way.
Next up is Ed Kingersky from Michigan Television.
Hey, Juwan, can you just speak briefly in the big picture about starting Big Ten play and being ready for the ride that's ahead?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's one of the most competitive conferences in college basketball. Arguably, people would say it's the best conference in college basketball. And I know, we have so many goals that we put on ourselves as a team, and knowing what's in front of us and looking at it by game now that, our conference play is starting, and knowing that game by game, each team that you face, you're going to get their best, and they're very talented, they're tough, they're well coached, they're well prepared. We just are looking forward to the challenge. And it starts on the road, which, it's no other better place than to do it. I mean, it's just like right. When Michigan played last season on the road in Christmas versus Nebraska, played last season on the road for New Year's Eve. I think that was at Maryland. I mean, it's just like, I wherever, keep throwing it our way. We're not going to make excuses for it. We're going to roll up our sleeves and bring our lunch pails and hard hats and compete.
We got time for a couple more, Coach. We'll go back to Andrew from MLive.
I probably know the answer to this, but like, does your team at all look at it like, you're defending your Big Ten title that you won last year, or is it, this is completely new season and, team?
That shit was last season, man. And it's a new season. Everyone is going for that Big Ten title, and for what year is this? 2021, 2022.
Right. And then if you don't mind, we always see it, that trophy back there behind you. Is that a replica of the Big Ten from last year? Is that what trophy is that we're seeing over your left shoulder? I guess it is, if you don't mind.
Would you be offended if I said none of your business?
No, I wouldn't be offended. That's you don't have to share if you don't want to.
No, just it's a trophy, and it's a trophy.
It's not that. It's not Big Ten.
It's a trophy that I earned, and I am very blessed in a lot of ways. What's that behind? You could tell me none of my business. What's that behind you that has like a couple of plaques, some awards you won?
Those are major awards. Yes. that I won as well, and I'm proud of. So yeah, same thing.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations. Well, that's a beautiful trophy right there. And until you come to my office, I'll share with you what it is.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Last thing for you, Coach, if you just wanted to talk about the football team and winning the Big Ten championship for us before we head out.
Well, what do I have to say? I would say this, like all our Michigan football fans and everyone that support the Maize and Blue, I'm extremely proud of our team, the coaches, and everyone else who's associated with the Michigan football program on the impact that they've had, and how inspiring it was to watch our team compete in non-conference games as well as in the Big Ten season leading up to the Big Ten championship. How that team rallied by, building a new culture and buying into getting uncomfortable. And I recall, some of the workouts that they had was at 6 a.m, where many of us was probably still asleep, and those young men were working with their coaches, building some habits that they had goals that they were set to go after, and one of the goals is they have accomplished, and that's that Big Ten championship, which we haven't done in a while. And I salute to Coach Harbaugh and his staff, and I'm just so happy for all of them. I am, some would say 10 toes in, 4 feet in. I will always be a big fan and support the program. And with that, I'm looking forward to watching us compete in the Orange Bowl versus Georgia, who I don't know much about, but I have to, of course, do my homework and study a little bit more. I got to be over there cheering, man. So whether it's on TV, it's on my couch, or, who knows? Hopefully somebody throw me a ticket somewhere. I don't care. I'll be in the bleachers up in the top of the row if we have time to go. But I can't wait to watch, this upcoming game on New Year's Eve. And with that, I just know our program, the coaches and the players are going to be preparing leading up to that day. And I will be cheering them on along with my entire family. Go Blue.
Okay, Coach. Thanks for your time. We'll see you in Nebraska.
Thank you.
Thanks, Juwan.